Where following the release of the Wall Street Journal's report on the ill-fated Air India 171 plane crash, which blatantly blames the captain for intentionally turning the fuel control switches from run to cut off. The Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau has slammed the irresponsible response of international media. Remember, the paper made claims regarding the cockpit audio that has been mentioned in the preliminary report, claiming that it was the aircraft's captain who cut off the fuel flow to the plane's engine, leading to the first officer asking, "Why did you cut it off?" While the preliminary report does not specifically or in fact specify who said what in the short exchange inside the cockpit, sources have stated that the Wall Street Journal claims to have cited American official investigating the plane crash as foreign media continues its spree of pinning the blame of the tragic crash on the pilots. In a strong response, AAIB stated that the AAIB works in accordance with the Aircraft Investigation of Accidents and Incidents Rule 2017 and is responsible for fulfilling the obligation of the Government of India towards ICAO Annex 13, slamming the Wall Street Journal report. Further, in their response, AAIB stated that certain sections of the international media are repeatedly attempting to draw conclusions through selective and unverified reports. Moving on, AAIB calls them irresponsible and urges the public and media to refrain from spreading premature narratives. Well, joining us at this point of time is Captain C.S. Randhawa, President of the Federation of Indian Pilots. So thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsX. Very, very important. The fact that it's been made abundantly clear that the Wall Street Journal report that was put out was nothing but a sham. What do you make of this, sir?
I would like to state, as I've been saying since last few days, that since yesterday when the report came, it was very unnerving and it was without any evidence. The Wall Street Journal has gone ahead and given a report, and that is a narrative picked up from the Reuters, and we were very perturbed when we heard this. Now, and the point of issue is that the AAIB yesterday in the appeal has condemned any foreign media or any participant to come to some speculations about the report because the AAIB preliminary report does not make a mention of what happened, if the switches were cut off, and who has cut them off if they were. And the cockpit voice recorder, on the contrary, says that the pilots have denied cutting those fuel control switches. So it was very inappropriate for Wall Street Journal to make such a statement, which is outside the purview of the preliminary report of the AAIB.
Absolutely, sir. Now, coming to the facts over here, what exactly from the preliminary report and of course the subsequent statements that have been put out, what exactly is it that we should be focusing on as far as this case is concerned?
We should focus on that. Firstly, we are requesting the Honorable Minister of Civil Aviation to reconstruct the investigation board in which you require to have subject matter experts on Boeing 787, the pilots, the engineers, the air safety experts, or the ATC controllers, whoever are important should be there, and they should be very well qualified to come to a logical conclusion, and the report should be in a very structured manner, made in a very structured manner. So it is important as to reconstitute the board. So we don't know whether the government will accept our plea, because the same has been mentioned by ALPA also. And we have supported that ALPA's move also on this subject.
Right, so absolutely. Now, of course, airlines, including the Singapore Airlines, has checked the Boeing fuel switches after the crash that has taken place. There are many other airlines as well who've taken up that action. What do you make of it, sir?
See, the advisory circular came out from the FAA in 2018. However, it was advisory in nature. Now, this was issued by the FAA. So, the correct thing at that point of time, the Boeing should have come out with a directive so that the airlines could have checked all the systems, especially the fuel control switches for the locking system. However, this was not done, so I do not know whether Air India carried out these checks or not. However, if in based on these reports, if you see that I'm not too sure whether these fuel control switches have been cut off in the cockpit at all. Um, so that this aspect is one side that particular checks that should have been done, and 21 days before the crash, even the CA issued circular to the operators in United Kingdom, and these checks were carried out. Even now in our country, the checks are carried out as per the directive of the DGCA. Air India has made all the aircraft undergo these checks for fuel control switches. But my point is, I am relating this fact to another incident which happened on 17th of January 2019. That is the ANA aircraft, which landed from Tokyo Haneda to Osaka. And on landing, the pilot, when he reduced the thrust levers, the thrust, and took the thrust reversers, both the engines cut off. That was because the aircraft remained in the air mode. Now, in this case, also we feel that the aircraft has not gone from ground to air mode. So that is the investigation committee to dwell on this point and go into the details of the accident. They will take some time to analyze everything in detail and then come up with a detailed report, which could take 6 months to 1 year.